I moved for like 5 seconds. Wow, it feels so good to finally be back talking to you guys. I asked you guys on Instagram if I should start my YouTube channel about marriage and pregnancy and obviously into motherhood and all that stuff, and it got a lot of love. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about me coming off birth control, like what happened to me and how long it took me to get pregnant. And oh yeah, I should start off with I'm 20 weeks now, which means I've hit the halfway mark already. But I do want to talk about just my experience and everything I've gone through within the first trimester and the beginning of the second trimester. And I wrote down everything that I wanted to talk about because I don't want to be like all over the place. I know that these videos can get kind of boring and dry, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just information for all my girls out there who are trying to get pregnant or you want to know what to expect. But that brings me into the most important thing that I want to say in this video, which is you have to understand that everybody's body is different. Every pregnancy is going to be different. You could have 10 kids and every single one of them are going to be different. So I don't want you guys to watch this video and take my experiences and think that everything that happened to me is going to happen to you. And the reason I want to address that is because I did so much research. I just kind of expected that everything that happened to 90% of women was going to happen to me. I'm sorry for the background. I literally put a rug on my TV because we bought I'm having a stroke. The first thing I want to talk about is birth control. I was on birth control for about 5 years. So I want to give you a breakdown of my marriage and like my love life, just so you guys can get an idea. A lot of people say I'm stupid or I'm crazy or that my life's over, but this is exactly how I wanted shit to go. So if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Everybody's timeline is different and that's completely okay. Some women don't want kids until they are 30 or 40, and you know, that's fine. That's their life. I am 22 and I always wanted to have my kids young so I could be a part of their life for as long as I could, you know. So basically I met my husband in January of 2020. We started dating in April of 2020. We got engaged in December 2020 and we got married at the courthouse January 2021, and it's July 2021 now. I'm just trying to give you guys a timeline because it'll make sense as I go through the video. Then I got pregnant in March 2020, and I'm so thankful and blessed that I was able to get pregnant and to get pregnant so fast. My main worry was coming off of birth control, what my body was going to be like. Everybody I knew that got off birth control had really bad acne afterwards. They didn't get their period for months. Someone I know didn't even get it for a year. So, you know, talking to all these people, reading all these articles, I threw myself in that bunch that was gonna happen to me as well. I was expecting to get my period after like a year, and I got it after 1 month. 1 freaking month. And it lasted a week and it was like 10 out of 10 bad, but that's obviously expected after coming off of it for so long. I got my period like 2 weeks later for a couple days, so I was like, okay, I guess things regulating faster than I thought, whatever. So I got off birth control in December because we weren't married then. I didn't want to get pregnant until I was married, but I thought that it was gonna take a really long time to get pregnant. I thought I was not gonna get my period for a year, so that's why I was just kind of planning ahead. So within the months of January and February, I know I say those weird, okay? I used to have speech problems, leave me alone. But between those 2 months, I went through so many pregnancy tests. I felt like my body was just going through so much, and it's all hormonal, but I wasn't sure, and I just wanted to keep having that confirmation that I was not pregnant. But I still thought in the back of my mind it was going to take a year. 2 months went by, it was all negative, and I was like, you know what? It started to get depressing. If you've ever, you know, gone through that, like where you're trying to get pregnant and you just keep getting these negatives, it's depressing, you know. And I can't imagine all the women who struggle with infertility, and you know, like it only took me 2 months, and I am so blessed because I know how much women struggle to get pregnant, you know. So I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so I told myself that I was not going to take a test until I genuinely had a feeling I was pregnant. So then I didn't take one for about a month. So I got hired with this hospital. I was working in the ER as a medic, and I was training for about 2 weeks. Actually passed out at work. It wasn't like a full-on pass out, but if my other medic who wasn't with me didn't catch me, I probably would have fallen. I was just doing an IV. I wasn't like in a trauma or anything. That was really concerning. I ended up going home early because I was really nauseous. Everybody asked me if I was pregnant and I was like, no. So I had to get cleared by a doctor, and so I went to the doctor and I actually got my blood done too, just because I hadn't got my blood done in forever. So I was like, let me just do that while I'm at it. And he did a pregnancy test because I told him what happened, and it was negative. So it was Sunday. Me and my husband went to breakfast, and then we went to go see the construction of our house and how it was doing. And that whole day, I think even the day before too, I had really bad anxiety, and I was not feeling like myself at all. I don't get like that. There's no need to stress for anything or have anxiety. So I was like, something is wrong. Did I think I was pregnant? No. I was just like, I knew it was like hormonal. It was like, I got off my birth control a couple months ago. Like, shit's weird. So the next day was Monday, and I worked from 10 to 10 during the day. And my husband has his own business, so he was up at 6 and he was in BFE doing whatever. And I wasn't gonna see him till I got home at night. So I was getting ready for work in here. I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, like I still feel like I've been the last couple of days. And I was like, something is off. So I took a test and I flipped it over after 3 minutes, and I had one eyelash on. I was like, what the hell? What? I was so confused. I started crying, kind of, because I was in shock because I was not expecting it. And I know it sounds stupid because I'm taking these pregnancy tests, so obviously it's like, well, maybe you kind of expected it, but I didn't, you know? I don't know how to explain it, but I just did not think it was positive. My first thought was, frick, I have to go to work for 13 hours and I won't be able to tell my husband later. And I was talking to him all day, like texting, and I was like, don't go to sleep when you get home. Like, I know you're tired. And I get home at like 11 and he's sleeping. So I got a baby bottle from the ER and I put on a note, and I put, you're gonna be a dad. And I handed it to him as he woke up, and he was disoriented as hell. I told him and he was like, oh my God, you're a liar. And I was like, you're right. Wow. So now I'm gonna be getting into the signs and symptoms of the first trimester. Come on. Stop it. Yeah, let me tell you guys when this started. So I think it was like week 6 to week 11. So I had a really, really bad first trimester experience. The nausea was the worst of it all. I tried so many natural remedies. Like, I tried the peppermint tea. I tried to use it like as a diffuser, and honestly I don't really care for the smell of peppermint, so it made me like even more nauseous in a way. You just kind of gotta wait stuff like that out, you know, because nothing's gonna make it better, nothing's gonna make it worse. Like, it's just fucking there. Vomiting happened mostly in the morning when my stomach was empty, and I was the most nauseous when my stomach was empty. And I realized every time my stomach was full, I wasn't as nauseous. I was still nauseous, but to get to that like a full tummy was extremely hard. I don't know anybody that likes to eat when they're nauseous. Like, it's just not, it's so hard to eat when you're nauseous. I was like really eating one meal a day, and it was mostly Chick-fil-A breakfast. But the next one is insomnia. I can't tell you how many nights I would just cry because of how exhausted I was. It did start to get better, thank God. Once the nausea started to get better, then the sleeping started to get better. I did get a really bad cold, but you know, that kind of makes sense just because of how sleep deprived I was, and your immune system is not as good when you're pregnant, so it was kind of expected. Another big one is headaches. It was one of those ones where you had to lay down, and like if you got up, like it was just throbbing. It was horrible. It wasn't really a consistent thing. It was more of just like every once in a while. Another really, really big one in the first trimester, which I never really understood, is lower back pain, like where your tailbone is. This was an everyday thing. Like, I was limping at the end of the day, and every single night I had to ice my back with the ice pad. I didn't know why it hurt so freaking bad. There was a couple weeks that I did have some acne. I don't even know if I want to call it acne. I had a few pimples here and there, nothing serious. There was a point where I did have some acne. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the first trimester, at least. Definitely the nausea was the worst, but looking back, it feels like it was just such a short period of time. But in the moment, it's grueling, you know? It is what it is. I'm just grateful that it's gotten easier. But like I said, it was very consistent in the beginning of getting sick. And then it started to be like every other day I was sick, and then not at all. So last but not least, we're going to talk about the second trimester. I am 20 weeks now. So a breakdown of the weeks and trimesters is 1 through 12 is first trimester, 13 through 27, I'm pretty sure, is the second trimester, and then the third is 28 to 40. The worst thing by far has been the cramps. When I did all my research, I never read anything about cramps, okay? My stomach was pretty freaking flat before this. It's mostly where my uterus is and where she's sitting. Oh yeah, it's a girl. So at week 11, I did this early DNA test for X and Y chromosomes, and then they confirmed it last week with the anatomy scan. I just get bloated really fast, so I have to eat a little bit less because the cramping is extremely painful. I do get a lot of sharp pains in my lower pelvis area where she's sitting. I'm only 20 weeks. I can't imagine how uncomfortable these cramps are going to be when I'm like 30 plus, you know? Hopefully my next pregnancy like isn't this painful because it'll already be kind of stretched out, right? Hopefully, I don't know. But it really hurts. And I'm just like constantly uncomfortable. Another thing, I get so dizzy and lightheaded. When I'm laying down in bed, I have to get up really slow. Like I have to sit up like this, wait a couple seconds, and then get up. Because if I just get out of bed right away, I'll go pale and like lightheaded and so dizzy. And then if I bend over in any way, if I get on my knees or if like I bend over, like I get so lightheaded and dizzy. I don't know. I was grocery shopping the other day and like I was on the lower shelf and I got up and I was like, what the fuck? Sorry. This is what it's like all night too. This is not my insomnia, bitch. I think around like 4 o'clock or 3, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm ready for bed. Like I'm exhausted. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for my experience thus far. I will definitely be making a video for like the third trimester and all that stuff. Me and my husband, like I said, we bought a brand new construction home and hopefully we'll be moving in next month. But my favorite type of videos to watch on YouTube are moving vlogs, and you bet your bottom that I'm gonna make a moving vlog. The place we're in now is a shithole. This is a guest bedroom and everything in here is either mine or for the new house. Behind this faux rug that I hung to cover the box, it's a 75-inch TV because it's an open concept, like with the living room and the kitchen. You should see our living room. This is like 10 boxes in our living room. It's so ugly. Yeah, subscribe and turn my notifications on and like this video and comment other things that you guys would like to see. Stuff coming up is definitely organization type videos and stuff like that. So I never know how to close out these videos.